Hey everyone, James Nussbaumer, and in this Everyday Miracles webinar, which is a little bit different than my normal videos and is not the same as my podcast because my podcast is voice and this is our webinars that we've started a couple of weeks ago, and I've been urged from my following on Twitter to uh, give these a little more often, and my mastermind community as well is asking me to put on more webinars. So I'm doing that, and I'm doing some technical things on my own. But we want to talk about a life worth living. A life worth living, women of purpose, men of purpose. What does it mean for a life of worth living, to live your purpose in life? And I'm going to discuss a little bit of A Course in Miracles, some objectives and goals and passion in life, kind of thoughts that the Course in Miracles gives us. I'm going to share a wonderful, small little sentence principle that is so powerful from the Course in Miracles. So simple and powerful that it will just knock you off your seat when you really think about it and with everything that's going on in your life. So for those of you that are just messaging in now, I've got you on mute, and you really won't be coming in here, but please leave messages at the end because I would love to have your input for the next webinar. Now, many of you are saying that you want me to do this webinar daily, which I have been doing these in the late afternoon, which is right now, 3 o'clock where I'm at. So, like I said, don't confuse these with my normal videos that I shoot real quick in the mornings just to get me off my feet and keep me on my toes, because I love doing those, and people tell me that they love them as well, but it's a different purpose there. But this is a webinar, so sit back and hang on. We're going to talk about why you may feel that you need a life worth living, because maybe you feel you don't have a life worth living. And how can you be among the men and women of purpose? Well, maybe you already are among the men and women of purpose, but perhaps you're not allowing yourself to feel that way within yourself. What I mean is, these days there's a mad rush to be purpose owned, we could say, and a life worth living. And by the way, as always, people have been really appreciative of the free ebook I'm recommending. So if you're listening to this at YouTube, and I've also posted it on Facebook too as well, and for Twitter for those of you that are watching this. But in the description area down below at YouTube here, there's the Bring My Dreams to Reality link that gives you the free ebook on how to more, get within yourself and turn the light on, so to speak, and realize that, hey, you know what, maybe I am living my life of purpose. Just because maybe the money's not flowing in the way it should be, well, does that really matter if you're really doing what you want to do? So anyways, that free ebook helps you to understand that a little more. So I hope that you'll download that into your inbox. It's a safe download. But I wholeheartedly agree that it is better, wouldn't you think, to be function and purpose driven than going in reverse or stuck in neutral. By the way, I have some distractions outside my studio right now. I'm in the midst of a construction zone going on. It just seems that bulldozers and heavy equipment is coming in. They're building a new museum next door. So bear with me if you hear that background, because I like to do these without a headset on, and it's just my style. But let's get back to your function in life, being purpose driven. However, why would I content to be simply purpose driven and not living a life worth living? I think the real factor, the majority of people all are right with, being just, say, function driven, purpose driven, is since they just do not know how to recognize their real function or their real purpose in life, or for existing, or exactly what purpose implies when it connects to people. Now that may seem confusing, so let me clear that up a little bit. This is the day that was produced for you right now, to start living a life worth living with a purpose driven. If you are watching this webinar right now, if you are participating in this video right now, that means you have fueled the spark within you to follow the voices within you that are telling you to live your purpose. Okay, bear with me. Also, please let me add that, excuse me, let me take a sip of my tea. Have to have a tea latte in the afternoon, but please read at my blog article. I'd written a detailed blog for this for you, people that are listening to me, especially for you. Thank you again for joining me at this webinar. But it's a detailed article on why manifesting love, always with a life of purpose and passion, gets you the life that you want. And the link to that is in the description area down below as well. And once again, please, the noise outside the studio, just bear with me on that, okay? But so I hope that you'll check out that blog article that I'd written. But the buzzword, so to speak, let's say the buzzword function can be substituted for a number of words, some of which might be factor, objective, intent, use or usage, concept, goal, function, aim or decision, power of choice. You know, the buzzword can be anything that you want. If you're not living your dreams, if you're not on a path to living your dreams, then something's out of whack here. In my experience and viewpoint, a purpose is the reason why you exist, to fulfill a particular job or a career that you can satisfy at a particular time and season here on the earth. The dream of life. And more on that topic later, so I don't want to confuse you, the dream of life. But for those of you that know my writings, know what I'm saying. And for those of you that are new to this webcast today, please buy my books because they detail everything. And I think that you'll be hooked and really love what I write about. So I urge you to buy my books. But the majority of people live out their lives satisfying their call, not their function or purpose. Now let me explain that. The Course in Miracles teaches us that happiness is obvious when you are fulfilling your function, which really is your passion. Your function in life, according to your Creator, is what you are passionate about. And there are numerous other essential virtues that will accompany happiness too as well. But anything else that accompanies the happiness of your fulfilling your purpose, fulfilling your passion, all the other stuff that comes on top of that is just icing on the cake. I hope that makes sense. So initially, how do we start to find what our function remains in life? Well, let's talk about men and women of purpose. When I say that word, men and women of purpose, who comes to mind to you? Now, we're not going to mention names here because we don't have enough time, but I'll leave that up to you. Think in your mind real quick when the term men and women of purpose, of all the people that ever lived or are still living now, who comes to mind? Well, so then ask yourself, why are we here? Okay, you know, like everything else in life, finding your purpose starts with finding an understanding, having an understanding of who you are. And what I mean by that is understanding one's self is a process that many people disregard or choose not to go through. Comprehending who you are in addition to self-examination and evaluation of yourself is the start of determining your passion, determining your function in life, your purpose in life. Your purpose in life is whatever you are passionate about. That's all it can be. So I believe one of the most powerful forces in the universe is love, and another is our capacity to choose our own ideas, to go on a path that we pave for ourselves. Don't you agree? So a single action is derived from a forthcoming, I wanted to say upcoming thought, and I mean forthcoming or upcoming, because sometimes we need to bring out that action from within us and say, hey, I'm going to take this action and do what I have to do, because this is leading me towards my passion. But on the other hand, also add in there and say, I'm doing it because I'm already living my passion, because I decided I'm living my passion. Now, one of my favorite phrases is, and I can't quote the author on this, I just don't have but it's not my quote, but one of my favorite phrases is an old adage that says, the me I see is the me I'll be. I'll repeat that. The me I see is the me I will be. Isn't that lovely? So in other words, I must begin to see myself as I want to be and not as I am, is another lesson from the Course in Miracles. But now let me give you this simple principle from the Course in Miracles that I told you that was so powerful. Please bear with me. Now, usually the Course in Miracles, the text where all the principles are of the 669 pages of the text, that's so deep, sometimes like a foreign language. But this is a very profound principle. The Course in Miracles states, vision depends on light. You cannot see in darkness. Align that phrase right there with what's going on in your life. If you feel you're not living your purpose, or you're not, living according to your passion. And by the way, I've noted that principle down below in the description area here at YouTube as well. For those of you that are going to follow this at YouTube later, so you'll be able to jot that down. But, as soon as you can psychologically, let's say, see yourself living your function, those extremely images, those extreme thoughts and images, I want to say, that you have about yourself will begin to draw the preferred thought patterns and habits into your life that you need and that will produce exactly what you want. I know that was an earful right there, but did that sink into you? Because it's about finding your purpose. Figuring out to have a life worth living is so critical if you want to find your purpose in life. Another crucial area for determining your purpose is finding the spiritual part of you. Excuse me. And that's why I enjoy A Course in Miracles. It just brings it out of me. And as you continue on the path to living your function, to living your purpose, to living your passion. Remember early on in this webinar, I said that these are all just words: function, purpose, passion. It's the meaning behind the words. So as you continue on the path to living your function, don't forget to mentally see yourself living a life worth of being of the men and women of purpose. Count yourself in with those people. Count yourself in as of the men and women of purpose. What is it that provides you to have that burning desire inside of you to be if you're not being of the men and women of purpose? What I mean is that burning desire that's in you, if you're not aligning yourself and living according to that desire within you, then if you're not willing to live parallel with that, aligned to it, then you're missing the main ingredient of the men and women of purpose in this world. If you are driven with passion to do certain things and you are actually focused on these things as well, and you get terrific fulfillment and enjoyment in doing them, then you might have identified your purpose in life. Hey, if you're doing something that you truly love, aren't you identifying your purpose in life, your passion in life, your function? As I had said, whatever word you want to substitute, go ahead. But in addition to establishing relationships and serving others, you need to likewise master the art of effective interactions and setting boundaries. Well, what I mean by that is, Learning the best ways to efficiently communicate in all of your relationships is going to enable you to effectively set goals to where the boundaries seem to be there, but it's okay to step over the boundaries when things are going right. In other words, start small. It's like take one step at a time. That first step is a boundary limit. Now you're going to the next step, and so on and so on. Before you know it, you have no boundaries, and you're setting goals that will bring and give you the regard you have to have a long and lasting, successful relationships. You know, these very same limits will also help you and drastically assist you in accepting and appreciating the limits of others and keeping your relationships quite healthy. Let's talk now briefly before we get ready to go here on objectives and goals, which are very important for all of us, correct? You are now all set to begin living a life worth living. And if you need to replay this webinar after you leave here today, because you'll see it at YouTube, then do so. But by reevaluating and developing your objectives and goals as soon as you are confident in your relationships, you're going to move forward naturally and step into living a life worth living. I hope that makes sense. But an objective can be the same as a purpose, but try looking at objectives as a summary of accomplishments to your course, to your path, to your journey, to the plan that you have laid out for yourself. Then let goals be nothing more than categories and subcategories of the outline of the path that you have charted out for yourself. Does that make sense? Again, I say make objectives as a summary to the accomplishment, but then let the goals be the categories and the subcategories of your path and what needs to be achieved step by step to get to where you want to go. With this very same overview, now you can start to plan your success by accomplishing these objectives and goals by what? Taking action. If you do not take action, nothing happens. Lastly, discovering your purpose in life and living a life worth living. Living a life of passion is not a complex ordeal, not whatsoever at all. It does, however, require a commitment, and a commitment on your part to change yourself from within to your external world, from a purpose offered into a life worth living, can we say? So as you continue on the path and the many branches in the road that you're going to face, the forks in the road, the crossroads, however you want to term that, don't forget to always be mentally seeing yourself as of the men and women of purpose. I hope you enjoyed today, and please message me on this. I would love all your comments. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're at YouTube right now listening to this. I would love to have you as a subscriber to my thought-provoking channel. And as always, in everything that I do on video, I like to say, please support my work. If you already are supporting me, I'm so happy and thrilled. And please consider the inner awesomeness and the real beauty that is within you. And see that inner awesomeness already having a purpose and passion laid out for you. All you have to do now is take action on that inner awesomeness that was given to you in the creation. I hope that makes sense. I know that was an earful, but I intended that to be. So as always, until next time, God bless. Thanks again.